What if the people you trusted most were secretly planning to erase you from their lives while keeping you paying for the very life they built without you? Lira Kane thought she knew her family, but one Christmas, she discovered the truth. Love wasn't keeping her close, it was control. And when she finally fought back, nothing would ever be the same. I still remember the icy clarity of that December morning, the way the sunlight fell across my apartment floor in thin, precise lines, and how everything I had known about my family seemed to fracture before my eyes. My mother, Evelyn Kane, looked me directly in the eyes and said, "We all agreed you're not welcome this Christmas." I didn't scream. I didn't plead. I didn't even ask why. And yet, I felt a rush of something I had never felt before, something not anger, not sorrow, but precision, a calm clarity. I did something that would shock anyone who knew me. I stopped paying the mortgage on the very house they were celebrating in. It wasn't about money. Money was never the wound. The wound was realizing that for years they had quietly plotted my erasure, while I kept the lights on, paid the bills, refinished their floors, decorated their Christmas tree, and held the fragile illusion of family together. Could I have known? Could I have seen it coming? The whispers, the empty chair, the subtle misdirections? At first, I didn't. That morning, I opened my email, expecting the usual flurry. The family chain about who was bringing which dish, who was flying in, who would sleep where. I braced myself for the usual chaos of their perfectionism. Nothing. Empty. The silence was strange at first, almost refreshing. But in my gut, I knew it wasn't an accident. Later that afternoon, I opened our shared family drive, the one we used every year for the gift registry, the dinner playlist, and Sabrina Kane's infamous spreadsheet ranking, who brought the most useful dish. The folder was gone. Not archived. Not hidden.
Gone.
My stomach sank, but I didn't panic.
Not yet.
I clicked on an old invite link. Access denied. 38 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Evelyn's name flashed on the screen. Figured you'd be busy this year. Don't stress about Christmas. No warmth. No explanation. No attempt to soften the blow. Just a polite dismissal. It wasn't the first time they had done this. Last year, I had arrived late after a client meeting, my arms full of gifts, carrying a plate of cookies I had baked at 2 a.m. The dining room table was packed, every chair taken. I ended up at the counter, with a paper plate in my hands, ignored except for a faint, "Look who finally decided to show." Laughter echoed in the background. I told myself it wasn't intentional. People get busy, plans shift. Perhaps they didn't notice I always brought the deviled eggs, or that I avoided pork.
Perhaps it didn't matter to them.
But seeing the empty inbox, the vanished folder, and Evelyn's dismissive text hit differently. This wasn't forgetfulness. It was a deliberate, unanimous vote to exclude me, a decision I had no part in. And worse, they framed it as a favor. That night, I opened my budgeting spreadsheet. December's mortgage was there. Autopay $1,360. 3 years of quiet deductions while they lived in that house, cooked in that kitchen, celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, even baby showers in the sunroom. I had refinished myself. Not once did they consider I might want to sit at that table again. I didn't stop the payment that night, but something inside me cracked, clean and silent, like glass under pressure. 5 days later, my phone rang. Evelyn's name flashed. I answered. "The family talked," she said, flat, rehearsed. "We just think it might be easier if you don't come this year. It's nothing personal." We all agreed. No sentiment. No care. A verdict. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I listened. Later, I checked the old cousin group chat. My name was gone. The holiday hysteria thread vanished. This wasn't a glitch. It was maintenance. I scrolled through my bank history. Utilities, all in my name. Originally, Evelyn had asked me to help when she stopped teaching, just temporarily. That was 4 birthdays ago. Then came the micro twist. I had signed as a co-borrower on the house, but my name wasn't on the title. The favor I thought I had given was a leash I hadn't noticed around my neck. I stared at my reflection on the screen, still and unblinking. They hadn't erased me from Christmas. They had kept me on payroll for a life I wasn't allowed to live. And then proof arrived. Maya Kane, my youngest cousin, sent an email. Subject: I need to show you something. Attached was an audio file. I hesitated, thumb hovering over play, hoping for harmless family chatter. But the voices that came through shattered every assumption. Sabrina Kane's voice first, clipped and cold. Mom, she's not family. She's just convenient. Laughter followed. Derek Kane. Don't stir the pot. Keep her name on the papers. It's clean. No need to rock the boat. No objections. Just motion forward. My pulse thudded in my throat. Years of suspicion confirmed.
I didn't cry.
I didn't even breathe heavily. I pressed record on my device, saving the audio to 3 drives, then opened the blank document. Every mortgage payment, every tax entry, every repair, typed. Facts only, no anger, no emotion. They hadn't kept me close out of love. I had been an asset, a heartbeat attached to a ledger.
2 nights later, I acted.
Mortgage autopay paused. Utilities, insurance, everything canceled. Clean cuts, no announcements, no manifestos. On December 24th, at 6:14 p.m., a group text lit up my phone. Power just went out mid-potluck. Mom's freaking. Everything's black. 4 minutes later. Lira, did you do this? I didn't answer. They already knew. The next day, I packaged the audio, spreadsheets, and receipts into a neat folder, sent copies to Derek's boss, the charity board, and local media. Subject: exit with receipts. Facts only. No accusations. Weeks passed. Christmas snow muffled the streets. No guilt calls. No last-minute excuses. Quiet justice, sufficient unto itself. But freedom brought unease. Could I trust it would remain unbroken? Could I truly sever their shadow?
I didn't know.
I only knew I had power now, the terrifying, thrilling pulse of control. Then came the slow, unexpected healing. Morning walks with coffee. Small encounters with neighbors. Maya was visiting, sharing cookies and casual conversation, discussing her thesis, the new coffee shop, and the trivialities of life that felt so heavy in previous years. She said softly, "They still don't understand why you left." I smiled. I didn't leave, I said. I stopped chasing people who stood still. No hug when she left. None needed. For the first time in years, I was visible to myself. And then, the quiet romance began. It was subtle, tender, unexpected. A barista at the coffee shop, Liam, noticed the way I lingered over books, the intensity in my eyes as I typed in my laptop. Conversations started over cappuccinos, slowly stretching into late-night walks, shared laughter, the warmth of a hand brushing against mine in casual proximity. It wasn't sudden passion. It was patient, quiet, and grounding, a reminder that life outside the shadow of the Kane family still held beauty. Spring arrived, with its softening air and blooming street trees. I began volunteering at a local community center, teaching children to read, helping neighbors file forms, and learning to reclaim the hours I had spent in silent servitude to a family that had never truly seen me. Laughter became easier. Smiles came unprompted. And through it all, Liam was there, grounding me in the small joys I had long forgotten. But even as life gained color, I remained vigilant. The Kane family had underestimated me once, but they would not again. The quiet satisfaction of empowerment and revenge had its weight, a reminder that control must be maintained, not assumed. A year later, I received a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside, a simple note. "We see you, Lira. We always have." I stared at it. A chill ran through me, not of fear, but of clarity. I folded the note carefully, placed it in my journal, and smiled.
They had seen me.
But now, I had lived entirely for myself. Lira Kane had survived erasure. She had survived betrayal. She had reclaimed her life, her voice, her identity. And she understood something essential. Sometimes stepping away isn't giving up. It's returning home to yourself and finding that even amidst silence, darkness, and betrayal, there is strength, clarity, and love waiting, sometimes in unexpected places. Because the Kane family may have tried to erase me, but I had rewritten the story. Not just for them, but for me. And though I would always watch the shadows, I would never again let anyone else write the terms of my life. The snow fell softly outside that evening, muffling the streets, and I stood at my window, coffee in hand, watching the light in the distance. A new year awaited, filled with promise, tension, laughter, love, and mystery. And for the first time in decades, Lira Kane felt entirely, irreversibly free.